What up everybody, welcome back to Tall Scraper. Now, today we're going to talk about something a little bit different again. And that is because right now in Denmark there's like a huge media situation because Trish Regan from Fox News in America, she went on a rant about Denmark and that became a quite big thing here. When I watched it, I didn't know if I thought it was funny or if I was actually a little bit horrified that something like that would be shared on a national television channel. Because I'm not saying Denmark is perfect by any means. And I don't think we're the greatest country in the world by any means. I certainly hope we're not. But the things that she was pointing out is just not true, and I thought that was funny. And I think that it would be funny to make a video about it. So that's what we're doing, we're making a video about it.
It's a really horrible scene. No food, no health care, no jobs, lots of violence, lots of looting, lots of corruption. This is what socialism looks like in Venezuela. And you know what? It's getting worse, increasingly worse. If you thought it was bad under Chavez, this is what it is under Maduro. And as I said, getting worse. Experts are now predicting inflation in Venezuela is expected to hit 1,000,000%. I mean, can you even imagine what that looks like? It's hard to even fathom 1,000,000%. I mean, think about anything that you try and buy within minutes is going to cost you more because it's so out of control. Venezuelans are losing on average 24 pounds a year from starvation. And almost 90% of the country is now living in poverty. But you know what? Democrats say we're not talking about Venezuela when they talk about socialism. They say, how can you possibly talk about Venezuela? We're talking about Denmark. But you know what? As Shakespeare said, there's something rotten in Denmark.
Now, she's comparing Denmark to Venezuela. And the first thing I noticed was that she called Denmark a socialist country, which I don't think is true. I would rather call us a welfare capitalistic country. Or, well, it's actually a little bit weird because I think we go with a model called the Nordic model. All the Nordic countries. But we're not socialists. The government are not controlling all our companies at all. Not at all.
Denmark too, folks, because Denmark's freebies, well, they're anything but free. Let's talk about this because we're talking about a tax rate, a federal tax rate of 56%. In other words, everyone in Denmark is working for the government.
Wow, those are some numbers, eh? 56%, that's a lot of money. But I actually believe that it's 52%, and you're only paying that amount of tax if you're earning, drum roll please, $6,632 a month you need to earn to pay that kind of taxes. I think I pay 30-something%, and I think that the average tax is around 40%. It's a lot of taxes, I know, but we don't pay 56% in taxes. Not even close.
And this doesn't even include the 25% value-added tax. That, everything else there costs 25% more. Or gosh, I mean, take a look at cars. They have a 180% tax on cars. You pay more in taxes than you do on the actual car.
Now, that is actually true. We do pay some extra for our groceries, for our fuel, and a lot more for our cars. Now, the car part is more or less to just encourage us to take the bicycle or the bus or the train. And I think that's okay considering our environment. I don't take any damage for taking the bus instead of just going outside and take my car. But of course I do want a car at some point. That's not what I'm saying. But when we pay all these taxes, we of course get something in return. For example, free healthcare, free police force, free education, payment while we're getting educated, like I get paid right now. And stuff like free dentist care until we're 18 years old. And some social securities, for example, if I lose my job, I still get paid so I can get by. And if I get sick, if I just can't work anymore, I still get paid. So my family isn't in debt because of me. And I don't have to live on the streets. So yeah, that's more or less. We get a lot more, but that's like the big things I think that we get from our taxes.
And and no one wants to work. This is a real problem because they're heavily in debt, but as of 2013, only 3 of the country's 98 municipalities actually had more than half the population working.
Now I'm going to be completely honest with you. I'm going to share a little secret. I don't want to work. Now, I don't want to work. I'd rather just have a couple of million and then just relax at a beach. But I do have to work because I need to get those couple of millions from somewhere, right? Now, but now I have a little bit of a problem understanding this, so hang in with me. Municipalities. I think that those are districts or areas in the country, right? I don't think we have the same concept in Denmark. I think it's nearly the same as what we call communes in Denmark. I think. Don't hang me up on this. But 3 in 98 of those have a majority of people working. That's not a lot. A majority of people... That doesn't look like something that can sustain itself. Now, I am not a professor in economics, but that looks like a bad system. But I don't think that's true. The unemployment rate in Denmark for 2018 is 4.9%. And that is actually higher than the unemployment rate in USA. That's 4.1%. We do have some people that don't want to work. And of course, you're going to have that when you have a system like Denmark. And it's not problem-free. Of course, we have problems. But some people have real issues that they can't really control. And it's really hard to say, well, you're sick, you're not sick. We just believe that people take care of themselves and that people actually have the decency to actually work. And it's working so far. I'm not saying it's going to work in 20 years.
And I haven't even gotten to school. School's free. University's free. That's lovely. And they have a program there. It's supposed to take you 5 years. But you see, not only is school free, they actually pay you. Basically $990 a month to go to school. Not bad, eh? Well, you know what happens then? Nobody graduates from school. They just stay in school longer and longer and longer. I mean, what's supposed to take you 5 years is taking everyone 6+ years.
We do get paid for educating ourselves, like I said before. But when she says school take 5 years, that's not true. It's our universities that take 5 years to graduate from. Our school system is 11 years, I think. And then we take another 3 years in college, I guess it is. I'm not sure. But now she says that nobody graduates. And that's not true. I actually don't know that many people who are not going to graduate. But we actually do have a little problem. Because a lot of people are dropping out in the last couple of years because the government made a new law that you can only take one education on, like, if you take an education on this level, you can't take another one on the same level. And that pushes some people into being insecure about, is this the right choice, and then going to another education. And I'm actually one of those people. I was studying multimedia design, and when they implemented that law, I was not sure if that's what I wanted to do my whole life. And I'm really happy that I did that, because now I'm studying event management, and that's much better for me. And that is actually a problem. But I think that they're going to re-evaluate that law again.
Because that's the reality of socialism. As one person who studied Denmark said, nowadays all the kids graduating from school in Denmark, they want to start cupcake cafes. Nothing wrong with cupcakes. I think Magnolia here in New York is pretty successful. But in other words, nobody's incentivized to do anything.
This is actually true. Me and all my friends who we studied event management, but when we graduated, we just figured out we wanted to make cupcakes. Why not make cupcakes? And we're going to start a company. It's called the Iron E, and we're going to make the best cupcakes in the world. But now I do actually understand the thought about why would people work if they're taken care of, even if they don't work. And yeah, actually I think it has something to do with the mentality. I don't think even one of the persons I've been going to school with back in the days, I think everybody has an education or are taking an education right now. I don't think anyone would be happy with not being able to supply themselves and be leeches, or what you would call it in English, on the government. I think everybody has like a will to provide for themselves, and of course some people don't have that. I'm not saying that everybody's perfect or anything, and I'm not saying I'm perfect either, but it's just not true. It isn't. A lot of my friends, the majority of my friends, are studying to become engineers right now.
Because they're not going to be rewarded. Denmark, like Venezuela, has stripped people of their opportunities. Is that the direction that we want to go in?
Now, I'm not going to show a lot of graphs showing how Denmark is ranked in a lot of places in comparison to the US, because I don't want to bash another country, because I'm not even sure that the Danish model would work in America. I'm not even sure that the Danish model would work in a larger country. It's very complicated to talk about that kind of stuff. But I don't think that it's okay to bash another country when they actually have a system that works so far. But we do have problems like we don't have enough doctors. Our doctors are not that well paid in comparison to other countries. I think that this is wrong, and therefore people don't want to take that hard education to become doctors, because when they become doctors they have long working hours and not a payment that's going to reflect those working hours and that time that they spend their education. That is a problem, and we do complain a lot in Denmark. I think everybody you meet has something to complain about. We do have immigration problems, and as I'm saying, it's not the perfect country. We just have a model that works for us, and personally I love this model, and of course I do. I've been growing up in it. But for example, I just got an operation where I got my gallbladder removed, and I'm not in debt. I can go out and live the same life like I did before. And I think that's amazing. I don't know how much it would cost in the US, but I just think that it's great. I don't really know how to end this. Now, I'm not saying that the Danish system is perfect at all. We do have problems. And I don't think that you can just take the Danish system and move it to America. I think that there's going to be some problems that is unseen. But I don't think that the right way to go is to put out information that is manipulative and fake, actually. I think that's the wrong way to do it. And I think that the solution for a lot of countries is to look at each other and see possibilities, and to be able to take some of the elements that other country has and implement it in our own system until we find a system that suits our needs perfectly. And yeah, I don't really know what else to say. Thank you for listening about my rant, about their rant, and well, I'll see you around. Until next time, have a good one.